Hi, Rakshita. Welcome to Content Kettle.
Thank you.
For
Hello.
those of you who haven't met Rakshita yet, she's the co-founder of Appstill that's bringing out a number of e-commerce solutions to help them grow. But I'm going to let Rakshita tell us a little more about what Appstill does.
Thank you, Vani. So Appsil is a B2B e-commerce solutions provider. So we are a truly SaaS product, and our customers are e-commerce stores that cater to shoppers across the world, across product categories. To sum up what we do at a very high level, if you think about some of the world's biggest retailers like Amazon or Walmart, so people like them, and they have this huge market share because of the on-dot customer experience that they give, the very well working functionalities. But these giants like Amazon and Walmart, they actually have thousands of software engineers on their payroll who build and maintain these functionalities, right? Be it the search or product recommendations or subscribe and save and whatever it might be. So this, just this payroll itself of these engineers costs these companies millions of dollars on a monthly basis. So any other retailer, any other e-commerce player that is not of the same size of Amazon or Walmart, it's going to be hard for them to have the same level of resources and functionalities. So that's where we come in. So we build these specific functionalities for e-commerce stores, which e-commerce websites, merchants can download into their website or mobile apps, and then provide these functionalities for their end customers or shoppers. So currently, our primary focus area is customer retention. And so anything that, any functionalities that merchants can provide that will really up the experience of their customers and keep them coming for recurring businesses, increase their loyalty, things like that. So we currently have 3 products live in the market. The first one is Appsil subscriptions, which is simply put the same as Amazon Subscribe and Save. Of course, it has a lot more sophistications beyond it, but it's basically the tool that helps merchants provide recurring deliveries to their customers based on their needs. And again, this cuts across both physical products like baby care, healthcare, skincare, food, pet care, and also digital products like audio, Netflix, Spotify, for example, right? Our second product is Appsil memberships, which again is very similar to Amazon's Prime membership. So any store that wants to provide a specific member perks for people paying extra money, they would be using Appsil memberships. Again, in Amazon's case, for $139 a month, the customers get free and fast delivery. And our third and newest product is Appsil Loyalty, which is all things loyalty. It's any store that wants to have its own loyalty program in any form. It could be points or store credits or whatever it might be. Appsil Loyalty would be covering that.
That is extensive. You have 3 use cases of Amazon covered under one umbrella. To follow up on one of the things that's obviously trending right now in the e-commerce ecosystem, how would you define subscription business model in the e-commerce ecosystem in absolute layman's terms?
The subscription business model. Sure. So I would put it this way. So let's just think of any product that we have a recurring use for. Face wash, right? Let's just pick face wash, right? So face wash is a product that is a consumable, so it gets over. And it's also a product that we need on a regular basis, on an everyday basis. So what happens when the face wash that you're currently using gets over? You go to the store again, either walk into a physical store, buy it, or if you have time, you can wait for a couple of days, then you go online, buy your exact brand that you're using. You don't want to switch face wash, right? So given that this product has a recurring need, what if, again, like everybody has their own practices. So you specifically know how often you replenish your face wash, how often you buy a new face wash. So what if a store offers you an automatic delivery of this face wash on the same period? So if you need a new face wash every 30 days, exactly on the 29th day, you have the new face wash at your doorstep. So that's what subscription does. So from a customer standpoint, it is all things convenience, right? So first of all, I don't need to worry about getting that face wash again. It takes that mind share, right? It gives me back that mind share, right? I can use that to do other things. I can think about other things. I don't need to worry about buying that face wash. And second thing is the convenience. It's right there at my doorstep. I don't need to either walk into a store. I don't need to even go log into this website and, look for that brand again. It might be available, it might not be available. So with this automatic delivery, that's taken care of. And third, again, it's probably because of Amazon. Customers typically tend to associate subscriptions with the saving component. It's always the subscribe and save that sort of goes together, right? So from a customer standpoint, because I'm so loyal to your brand, because I've been getting a particular brand regularly, if it comes with a 10% saving, that's an add-on bonus for me. Again, from a merchant standpoint, subscriptions is a great win because it means that they don't need to go invest again to acquire that customer. Specifically today, when there are so many brand options, so many great value products that are also high quality, again, international shipping is so possible. Customers have hundreds and thousands of options that are available for them. But having a customer as a subscriber means that the customer is not on a monthly basis looking out or Google searching for that particular face wash and seeing other ads, right? So you have logged that customer in. So that is the biggest win from a merchant standpoint. And obviously that translates into a very strong customer lifetime value.
Very quick follow-up question on the same. You did mention how we have we have express shipping, we have one-day deliveries also. So a lot of convenience also comes from, the different ways in which we can place an order online. So why should brands at this point also care about, let's say, setting up a subscription model when the consumer has the choice to, let's say, buy from them, get a one-day delivery? Why would you recommend that maybe the same brand, the face wash brand, actually sets up a subscription model?
Yeah, I would say two big factors here from the merchant standpoint. The first one, and this is the most important for me, is the friction aspect, right? So every time the customer needs to do something by themselves, there is a friction. People can get lazy, people can get busy, people can get tied up with something else that's more pressing. So they can put off that particular purchase. And when they're going into, I don't know, just Google or even your own website, there are always multiple hurdles. There's like pop-ups coming up. There's like ad from like 100 and different other competing brands. So all these are friction in their own way, right? So having a subscription ensures that the customer, you're not even allowing the customer to think about another brand. Another brand has absolutely no chance of getting in front of your customer. So it's that particular friction is completely removed in subscribe and save. And the second one, I would say, is also the shipping cost, right? Yes, the customer can go and get a probably 2-day or 1-day shipping. And oftentimes that comes with an additional cost for the customer. Sometimes the merchant can himself or herself also take up that cost, which again means that it's going to eat into their profit. But in a subscription, the merchant has the predictability. They really know, okay, so on 29th of every month, again, a hypothetical example, 100 face washes need to be shipped into the US. So they can really plan that shipping. It doesn't have to be a rush 1-day shipping at extra cost. They can actually even ship that item on the 15th, 10 days before, 15 days before, for the cheapest shipping price and save up on that cost, again, which means higher profit.
That actually does make sense. But on average, how often do you think consumers do subscribe to products? I mean, is there a rough statistic on how many consumers really have subscriptions when it comes to, let's say, products, daily products, regular products?
So I would say that within e-commerce, if we take all the different, I would say, features, and particular business models from the merchant standpoint, subscriptions is one that's really accelerating right now. I think Forbes had predicted that it's expected to touch about $29 billion in the next 3 years. Again, that's a significant number. I would say one of the biggest reasons for this extreme acceleration was probably also COVID. Because with COVID, the adoption of e-commerce just paced up because there's no other way for most people. And even in emerging markets where there wasn't really the infrastructure for online shopping, the government as well as the private providers were really very, very fast in terms of setting up that infrastructure and ensuring that close to 100% of the houses had internet and the ability to shop online. I think that was also another factor that really upped the whole subscription model. And another very interesting trend that we're also seeing is that even products or categories that are typically not very subscription friendly, typically products that people don't replenish on a regular basis, are also coming up with very innovative ways to offer subscriptions. So one very, very well-known example is automobiles, right? People don't go and purchase cars on a monthly basis, not even on a yearly basis. They just buy it on an as-needed basis, right? I have a car, I've had it for 10 years. It's breaking down, so I need another car, for example. So here, what some merchants, some stores have done is cars need servicing, and servicing can be done regularly. So then they offer the services as a subscription. And sometimes cars need add-on features like seat heating or radios. Again, they are used on a regular basis, though not the car itself is replenished. So then again, these services and add-ons are given on a subscription recurring order basis. So what we're seeing is even brands, product categories that are not a great fit per se for subscriptions are coming with very, very innovative ways to attach add-on services and functionalities that are subscriptions. Again, that's leading to a big uptick too.
I'm glad you brought up industries because I wanted to follow this up asking you, what are some of the industries that you're seeing a spike in subscriptions in, most common industries?
The first and foremost, I would say the consumer goods industry. And within that, I would say the subcategories would be skincare, healthcare, as well as some grooming products, right? Be it feminine care, men's care, or baby care. So basically any subcategory where the brand really matters, right? For example, if you're healthcare, right? If someone's taking vitamin tablets, they don't want to switch the brands. And that's something that a product that they would need on a recurring basis. So those kind of products, or skincare, people don't often keep switching on a brand if it really works for them. And obviously it's something that they need on a recurring basis. So definitely the consumer goods, which come into the caring aspect, and also the regular use products. So CPG, again, related to daily use, like your toothpaste and those kind of products. And then the second biggest category I would say is food. So this is both pantry items as well as meal plans. Again, fast-paced life, so people don't really have the time to cook elaborately. So the meal plans where they can go a week in advance and decide what exactly their menu is going to be, like what food they want for the next 1 week, and order that in, and that comes through. I think that's also super convenient. Again, that is one of our biggest, I would say, merchant category. So we have merchants like Inspired Go in Canada, which is very similar to HelloFresh in US, which uses Absol subscriptions. And I would also say pet industry is pretty big too. Again, pet food, people need on a regular basis, but they don't want to, keep that in their mind in terms of they want the bandwidth. They don't want to keep thinking about ordering the pet food. So pet food is another one. And I would say the fourth category that's really going up is I would say the digital products, specifically in the audio as well as the video category. Again, very similar to Spotify. So Universal Audio, for instance, which is a company very similar to Spotify. So they are also a big customer of Absol subscriptions.
That's very, very interesting. But what do you think makes certain subscription models a success? Because I have seen a number of, let's say, skincare brands, a number of healthcare brands, or how we call them, health supplement brands. They're not exactly succeeding with the subscription model. Where do you think most of these businesses are going wrong? Are they not deep diving into what people really require in terms of a recurring basis? Or are the offers not great enough? Or are they not doing a great job at the setup?
Yeah, I think it's multiple things. And first and foremost, I would say it's the product itself, right? Again, going back to the automobile example, yes, it's not a great fit for subscriptions, but then the industry has innovatively thought of services that can be attached to it and given on a subscription. So the corollary of it, right? So just because a product just on the face value seems like a great fit for subscriptions, doesn't mean that that particular brand's product is a great fit. So it's something that needs to be done that way. Like, for example, let's say, again, hypothetically, there is a skincare brand, right? But that particular skincare brand packages its product in such a way that it provides 1 year worth of products at one time. So if you think of this particular store that's giving the whole years of product at one shot shipping, would subscription really work for them? Maybe not, because the customers might not be ready to go and lock themselves in for multiple years with this particular brand. Things can change a lot, right? Even, for example, even baby care products, right? Baby care products that probably are shipped out for the entire year. Again, it might not work for parents because the baby grows up. So a lot of times it's basically, I think, businesses thinking for their particular product if subscriptions will work. And if it does not, how they can modify the product to ensure that it can be subscription, I would say a good fit for it, something that will work for it. So going back to this example of the skincare that ships off 1 year's worth of product, maybe making it just 2 weeks or 1 month worth of product would then make it suitable for subscriptions. Right. So first and foremost, it's that. And obviously, there are some examples that just won't be a fit. So for example, a few months ago, we got a merchant that's actually into boutique clothing. They actually sell designer clothes. Again, is that really a fit for subscriptions? Maybe not. People don't subscribe to designer luxury clothes on a monthly basis, but maybe the servicing of it, something people might be interested in, the maintenance of that designer luxury clothing, right? So it's basically each business taking some time to think through what or in which form of their product customers would really like this on a recurring basis. I think that's first and foremost, it's the product. And second, I would say is basically the other piece, right? It's the pricing. Am I priced right? Obviously, that would require some competition comparison, learning from the pros and cons of your competition, their failures and successes, and seeing like which ones you can adopt. And sometimes the comparison and the best practices doesn't have to be specifically from your industry. So it's that. So basically pricing it right? And providing the right discount and incentive for the customers to go that extra mile and subscribe for your product, instead of saying, you know what, I'll come to it later when I need it the next time. And the third one is obviously the promotions. It's not enough if you're providing subscriptions. Your customers need to know that you're actually offering this product on a subscription. Basically, it's that awareness aspect. And the fourth one, I would say, is placing your subscriptions widget in the right place. Sometimes it's, so at Absol Subscriptions, we offer, obviously, the first and foremost, the product page itself. If someone's on a particular product page, they can see that it can probably be bought on a one-off basis, but also as a subscriptions. And we also offer it on the homepage, where just in the website's homepage, customers can immediately see that, okay, you know what, I can buy X number of products on a recurring basis. And then we also provide it in the cart page. Let's say customer X has is trying to buy a face wash, but then they've bought it one time. So it's currently sitting as a one-time purchase in the cart. But just in the cart, again, we can trigger to the customer saying that, hey, we see that this product is one time, but you can actually subscribe and save for it, which means that you'll be getting it on a monthly or a bi-monthly basis with a 10% discount, or actually making money. So then again, so it's basically placing that subscription offer in very, very critical, I would say, the customer journey checkpoints to really incentivize. So it's basically all of these four aspects, I would say. But first and foremost is really taking some time to think through from your customers' shoes on like how they would want to use your product.
So as you know, from your answer, as you said, a lot of it is driven by consumer demand and consumer interest in a product, right? Let's say I already have a store, but I haven't started with a subscription model yet, but I do see some amount of recurring purchases happening on the store. Are there any particular signs that a store or a brand can look at to know that it's the right time for them to start with a subscription model, if, let's say, they don't have something in place right from the get-go?
When it comes to subscriptions, I would say it's the multiple ways in which a store can determine if they're ready. So first and foremost, I would just say, look around, see what your competition is doing, not just the immediate competition, but also competition across the world. So for example, for a player that's in UK that is domestic, they don't necessarily have to just look at other competition players in US. Look at what's happening in the US. Look at what's happening in the French market. See where the customer adoption, customer demand is going. And if you can replicate it successfully, then you would be the first player. I would say the leader in that particular space in your country to offer subscriptions. So basically, I think that's how the industry is moving. Again, people as in like customers are no longer looking at categories in a silo, right? They are trying to learn from their experiences across different categories and are expecting similar experiences, top-notch experiences from all the other brands that they interact. So from the customer experience standpoint, I think every brand can learn from multiple other brands. I would say all other brands worldwide. And the second thing is for brands that are starting out on subscriptions, they can always test it out. They can always just test it out for in a limited market or to a limited customer segment to see what the demand is. And specifically within Absol subscriptions, so we are very, very testing friendly. So our starting plan, which is free, is actually free for lifetime until a store makes about $500 in monthly subscriptions revenue. So for any merchant across the world that's trying out subscriptions to see if it'll work for them, if it's a fit for their particular product category, product and store, we don't charge anything. They can get all the, I would say, basic and sometimes even more than basic features and don't have to pay at all until they start making money off of it. So again, so looking for tools like that would really help them test, that are testing friendly, would also, I would say, help with to know when the right time is. But in my opinion, I would say for subscriptions, I would say yesterday was the right time to launch a subscriptions business model.
And also the flip side of it, let's say I do start a subscription model. What are some signs that say that maybe it's not succeeding and I'm pushing too hard? Or when do you recommend the brand stops?
This is actually two things, right? The first thing is the subscription business model is not working for this particular store, right? Or it could be the subscription model is just not a fit for this product category. People are not interested. It's not there yet. So I would say the first one, how would a store know that a particular business model is happening when there isn't any uptick, right? Again, that's when they really need to go and look into their particular settings, how the subscription model is set for them from a customer standpoint. Am I incentivizing it enough? Right? For example, this particular, if I want my customers to order this product on a monthly basis instead of a one time, what am I offering them in return? Am I giving them a 5% discount? Am I giving them free shipping? Am I giving them additional free products? Whatever it might be. So it's basically getting to the crux of it, the customer incentivization. Obviously, this can also be very customer segment specific to understand what different customer segments need. what they're looking for, what they're driven by. Are they more cost conscious? Are they more about getting their products shipped in a very, very nice package so that it's fragile friendly? Or if do they want free products? Do they want other perks? All those things. So that's what I would say first and foremost is the pricing right? Am I promoting it right? All those things. And if all that's been done, then the second thing would be to actually look into that particular industry and the product category. Is this product category a fit? Even after the store has done everything that it can think of, sometimes even hiring consultants to ensure that they're making it very conducive. Why is it not picking up? Is it because this product category is not a fit? Then it would be about thinking about add-ons that would make it subscription friendly. Again, going back to the example, the automobile industry. Again, another example I wanted to give is also jewelry. So we also have a very well-known jewelry brand in Dubai that is an Absol Subscriptions enterprise customer. And obviously, jewelry is not something that people subscribe to, but jewelry maintenance is something that they could. So it's basically thinking of associated complementary services and products that would be subscription friendly. And the third thing I would say is the profit, right? When we're thinking about subscriptions and a lot of other business models, we mostly think about the revenue. But another key characteristic, key metric is the profit, right? So what are the costs associated with subscriptions? The promotion costs, for instance, and also ensuring that my inventory is managed well, because I don't want to run out of inventory for subscriptions and then keep giving my customers refunds, right? Refunds or additional money to keep them satisfied. Again, that's going to be cost. So it's basically looking into the cost to ensure that the cost setting is also right at the minimum, so that the profits that are coming out of the subscriptions business model are strong. Again, Absol Subscriptions also provides a lot of functionalities that help merchants with the cost. For instance, we provide inventory management, which would really trigger notifications to merchant based on when the next bunch of recurring orders are going to take place, and let them know if they're running low so that they can go and replenish their stock. And then we also have a lot of bulk automations, which would save merchants a lot of time. And again, time is equivalent to money.
After talking about all the mistakes that should be avoided when running a subscription program, I want to ask you one question, which is tied to this entire podcast, right? Is how does this particular business model really help brands bring down their marketing costs? Because if you take an average today, the customer acquisition costs have increased drastically across all industries. So what would you say to that?
So from a merchant's perspective, one of the biggest advantages that we discussed of subscriptions is the customer retention, right? They're going to retain the customers for a very long time, as long as they meet the customer's needs. The friction and the opportunity for the customer to even look at other brands, think about other competing brands, it's minimalized, if not completely removed. So again, a very strong high customer retention rate and means a higher CLTV, right? Which means that the marketing can just be focused on a very, very targeted new customer acquisition. They don't have to spend money on acquiring or reacquiring customers, right? The churn of the customers is going to be very, very low with subscriptions business model. And one thing, obviously, I also wanted to mention here is, yes, to your point, the marketing costs have really gone up across different levels, right? Even if we think about social media like Facebook or Instagram, the overall cost of running ads, it has gone up. So subscriptions is, again, not only helping with the overall revenue by bringing in a new revenue stream, a predictable revenue stream, it's also going to help with the marketing cost. And just to add on, obviously, there is going to be some initial cost to, again, going back to our point on how to make the subscription successful, right? It is going to be, there is going to be some amount of spending to ensure that the store offering subscriptions is promoted well, that customers are aware that they can buy this product on a subscription basis. Obviously, if someone's in a website, they would probably see the subscription widget in homepage, product page, cart page. But what about the new customers who have probably not come to you and are in a competition X because competition X offers subscription? How are you going to make them aware that now your store is also offering subscriptions? So I think apart from that initial launch promotions, I think subscriptions is a very good news for marketing, like from a marketing budget.
Mhm. And do you have a couple of examples that, maybe our listeners could take a look at, some brands that are really doing a fantabulous job at running subscriptions?
So in terms of brands that have really done subscriptions very well, I think there are multiple brands that I can point out. Obviously, the big, really large enterprises, as well as Apple's merchants. I'll start with Apple's merchants. So within subscriptions itself, we have about 13,000 plus merchants so far. It's growing every day. And a few that come to my mind. So the skincare brand that we spoke about, the healthcare and skincare as a predominant category for subscriptions. So Skin Authority is one company that I can mention that has really done subscriptions very well. In fact, this particular brand uses both two of our product, Absol subscriptions as well as Absol memberships. And it's been great on both for them, offering recurring orders as well as memberships and the whole member tiered perks. And again, another category is going back to the kitchen and pantry and the groceries, coffee. So beverages is again a very, very big coveted industry for subscriptions. That is something that people consume on a regular basis and something that's replenishable. So here I will give an example that is not in the US, just to have some diversity. So Moke Coffee is one of our enterprise customers. They are one of the biggest coffee brands in Spain. And so they recently started offering subscriptions for their coffee as well. And they've been very successful so far. So that's one brand that you can check out, specifically if you belong to the food and beverages industry. And another layer, again, picking on the meal plan category. Again, meal plan is a very, very, I would say, or one of the fastest growing subcategories that are giving subscriptions, right? Especially in the developed world. Can you cut that? Sorry, I don't want to say developed world.
Okay.
Especially in US and European markets. So Inspired Go is one of, I would say, the biggest meal plan customers in the subscriptions category. So they're based in Canada and are very similar to what HelloFresh is doing in the US. And one more or two more examples that I wanted to give. So one is the consumer goods industry, the consumer tech that we had referred to earlier. So Pella Earth. So what Pella Earth does is they make products that help with very sustainable trash tackling, very, very sustainable in-home segregation and the whole garbage compost areas, what they look at. Again, this is a very, very coveted space. And again, given the focus on sustainability that's happening at even the individual house level, so they, again, have had a strong success in offering recurring orders to their customers. And then the last one is Universal Audio that I had mentioned earlier. Again, I specifically wanted to bring this brand because, again, subscriptions doesn't always have to be a physical product that is being shipped out. It can also be a digital product that people have a recurring or continuous need for. People listen to music on a regular basis. People watch TV. People do watch entertainment on a regular basis. So they can also definitely be subscriptions, as we see with Netflix, Amazon Prime Videos, and here Universal Audio.
Those are some very, very good examples. I'm going to take those names again and definitely drop it in the description so that everybody can check them out for sure. So just to bring things to a close, what would be the one parting tip that you would give to e-commerce brands that have, let's say, plateaued in terms of their growth or are just getting started in a very competitive market?
Okay. The one parting tip I would say is that know your customers. Really know your customers. Not just the demographics, but also the psychographics. segment the customers. Not all customers are the same. Really segment them based on their buying characteristics, their needs. And I would say use that as an anchor when you're thinking about your business model and the multiple features and functionalities that you invest on. Because every new feature that you add on does mean investment. Even say, for example, apps and subscriptions, we do start with a free plan. But even then, it does involve some amount of time investment from the founder or the product manager or the e-commerce manager. So with time and everything being so limited, really think through from your customer standpoint and see where you want to put your time and effort and money in. So that would be my parting thought.
That's fantastic. Well, that's all we had to ask of you today, but we're definitely going to have some follow-up questions. So I am going to drop them to you in the comments or probably tag you on social media so that we can get answers directly from you. Thank you so much for taking out the time today, Rakshita.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Have a good day. Bye.
You too.